The Tuesday Night War has concluded, and it's going to be a very interesting day tomorrow when the ratings drop because the IWC absolutely loves talking about ratings. And by this point in time, if you've watched my content, you know I don't really care. I don't think ratings are necessarily a measuring stick for people's success. I'm not even going to talk about it today because I want to talk about the Tuesday Night War and my genuine thoughts. And listen, I'm going to be very real. I watched both shows on two monitors simultaneously. And there was one moment in which I was watching AEW that made me turn off the show. And that was when Orange Cassidy won the International Championship from Rey Fenix. Now, look, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to sit here and say that, I don't have the right to feel this way. They're going to disagree. Maybe they love Orange Cassidy, whatever it may be. I was a very, very big fan of the Lucha Bros in Impact Wrestling, and I got to see Penta become the Impact World Champion. When they came to AEW, I felt these guys should have been the top tag team in the company, and I would argue that they are one of the top tag teams, but they're not always presented that way. And I've always kind of wondered what it would be like if Penta and Rey Fenix went a singles route. And obviously, Jon Moxley's injury changed a lot of plans. They had to call an audible. Rey Fenix won the belt. And it just seemed like, okay, cool. Like, this is a chance for AEW to do something special, especially with the International Championship. And I'm totally cool with Rey Fenix going the singles route, even though it was an audible. But the reign was very short-lived. And when Rey Fenix dropped the belt tonight, I decided to stop watching AEW. And look, that's just me having a preference. Rey Fenix is one of my favorite guys in AEW. I felt like that wasn't a booking decision that I agreed with, and I wasn't going to pay attention to the rest of the show. Some people are like, oh, that's dramatic, or you're overreacting, or whatever the case may be. But honestly, it's very hard to watch two shows simultaneously. It is, especially when I'm trying to listen to the audio and commentary of one versus the other. It is a very difficult task at hand, and that's kind of why I want to make this video, because I think the Tuesday Night War really made both companies step up. And NXT, if you watch my content, you know I'm a very big fan of NXT. And tonight was a good episode. I don't want WWE to keep doing what they did today every single week. Like, you have main roster stars come in every so often. Like, that's fine, as long as there's stories there and stuff like that. But just for the sake of having them show up trying to beat AEW, like, you do it once, okay, that's cool. If you keep doing it, then it just, like, NXT loses its vision, right? And then I start losing my buy-in to the product. So I found it to be very difficult watching both shows at the same time. And when I saw that Rey Fenix lost the belt to Orange Cassidy, I was like, all right, screw it. Like, I don't really care anymore. I'm just going to watch NXT. And up until that point, let me be pretty clear. I thought AEW and NXT were phenomenal. Honestly, Chris Jericho got squashed by Powerhouse Hobbs. I would have never guessed AEW would have done that. And I thought that was really, really cool, especially because I'm a big Powerhouse Hobbs fan. And I just felt like they were doing a lot of great stuff from what I saw. When I made the decision to turn it off, obviously I was continuing to watch NXT, and I thought NXT was a very enjoyable product. But like I said earlier, it didn't seem like the NXT product that I've been watching for a while. You know what I mean? It's like you have LA Knight as a special guest referee, but LA Knight doesn't really have anything to do with either guy. It's just like things like that. It's just random, and it's for the sake of doing it. Okay. And again, it's not like I'm not complaining, but like, I enjoyed the episode, but that's not what NXT is to me. And I think that's kind of the main purpose of this video. I don't want a wrestling war overlapping each other. Honestly, I don't. I don't want to see head-to-head. And I think, some people are going to love that idea. And I think the problem with them going head-to-head is that, especially as of late, the last few months, I've really been enjoying AEW again. And I talk about this on my main channel, that I feel like AEW has really stepped it up creatively. And when I enjoy that and I enjoy NXT, I don't want to have to pick and choose which one I want to watch at that moment in time. And especially because I'm a very big fan of NXT and the way they've been doing things for the last year. So the Tuesday Night War for some people could be a really cool thing, but for me, I don't find it that fascinating. And like I said, both strong episodes based on what people are saying on social media. All the stuff with Adam Copeland and Luchasaurus was fantastic. A lot of people had a lot of praise for AEW tonight, which is fantastic. And a lot of people obviously had a lot of praise for NXT. But the reality is picking and choosing is just very difficult, especially when you're interested in both products. And I think the biggest challenge that I've learned is that when you watch AEW and you watch NXT and you watch, just in general, when you watch wrestling, I feel like you're watching a product that should be evolving storylines on a continuous basis. And these companies have done really good at making little nuances actually mean something of importance, which is not something that we're used to in pro wrestling. For a long time, the little details didn't matter. But if you watch WWE and AEW as of late, there's things that if you're not paying attention to, then you might miss something that could be a huge Easter egg. And so when you have two monitors, you're only listening to commentary or audio from one versus the other. It makes that a challenge. And look, I think the Tuesday Night War is cool when you look at the competitive aspect from it. I think it's obviously very fun to watch AEW and WWE really try to stick it to each other, because that's what it is. It doesn't matter. AEW try to stick it to WWE by putting Adam Copeland in the main event, right? And WWE try to stick it to AEW by saying, look, we're going to put all of our top stars on there. They really try to make it a big deal. Cody had some major announcements, and that's all fun and that's cool. And that obviously brings out a great product, but I feel like they don't necessarily have to do that. And I don't like reactionary booking. And I think that's one thing that I've been very keen on, especially in the past when there was the Wednesday Night War. I feel like when you're doing reactionary booking, you start to skip those little details of importance that actually propel a story forward. And I don't want to see that happen. I really want WWE to continue doing what WWE does, which I think WWE puts on the best stories in pro wrestling. I think AEW puts on the best wrestling matches in the world of pro wrestling. And sometimes AEW does a good job with stories too, but their whole thing is wrestling matches. And I think the more that I watch both products, I have an incentive to watch NXT to continue following the story. And if I want to watch AEW based on whoever's wrestling, I can tune in to watch that. So I think the war, the head-to-head thing is just not really that interesting to me. Like, it's fun for one day. You do it once in a while. Okay, that's cool, but I see a lot of people are they're talking on social media as if this should become a thing that happens all the time, and I genuinely don't think that should happen. Maybe it's not a popular opinion, but it's my real opinion. But yeah, look, like I said, I didn't watch the rest of AEW. You're not going to hear me talk poorly about that. I didn't watch it. I fully admitted that on social media. I wasn't going to finish the show, but the reaction seems to be very good, and that's obviously important. And I enjoyed NXT as well, but I want to see NXT not, just bringing John Cena for the hell of it, right? So obviously that would be pretty important to me moving forward. And I think if WWE just focuses on what they've been doing right, and if AEW focuses on what they're doing right, everybody's a winner. So I want to know what you guys think. Those are my genuine thoughts. Did it go down the way you expected? Which show did you think was better? I'm definitely curious to hear your opinion.